In this video series, we will look at how to install and configure ENow 7.0 software, which includes Mailscape, Compass, Uniscope, and Foresight, in 3 easy steps. This video is the second in the 3-part series. In this second video, we will show Step 2, or how to install the ENow 7.0 client software on an Exchange server, domain controller, or other server being monitored. And all of that with no reboot. That's right. Now, the client installation is fast and easy. There are, however, a couple of important things that we'll keep an eye out for along the way. They are, we'll make sure we copy the installer exec to the server we are installing on, and we'll watch for permission and DNS errors along the way. Having said that, let's go to our web server. Now, here's where we left off in the first video. Let's open the One-Look dashboard, and we can see the Exchange 2013 servers are checking in. Now, remember, we still need to do a little configuration for the namespace here, but we're going to address that in a subsequent video. At this point, the next step is to get the clients installed on the servers we're monitoring. Now, if you remember, when I installed the ENow software on this web server, I selected Mailscape and Compass. And as we can see, one of my domain controllers is checking in, DC01, but the other is not, and that's DC02. So when I add the other domain controller, it'll show up here in the One-Look dashboard. Let's leave this window open and go over to my domain controller. Now, here on the domain controller, I'm going to navigate to the shared folder on the web server that I downloaded the ENow installer package to. So we'll find that here on the share. And the file we want is right here, ENow client setup. Just copy it and I'll put it right here on the desktop. Next, we'll right-click and run as administrator. Then we'll click Next, accept the license agreement, now we'll select the server role. In this case, it's a domain controller. Now here's an important point to note. We ask ourselves, is this the correct address for the web server? In this case, tsweb02. Is that correct? So if so, we're going to proceed, which in our case it is. If not, we might try and ping the web server and ask ourselves, is there a firewall blocking it? Or is there a DNS name resolution for the web server? If we can ping the web server but the domain controller doesn't see it by name, there's an advanced configuration setting I'll show you at the end of this video. Now, in the Admin Services window, we will input the username and password for the services. And finish. Now, another thing that's important to note, in order to get the full functionality of each product, the admin account must have the appropriate permissions. Please see the PDF one-sheets that ENow provides for specific permissions for each product. If the password is entered incorrectly here, the installer will give us an error that will pop up and will install the services with local system accounts. In this case, we're okay, so we'll click Close to exit. Since our installer finished successfully, let's head back over to the web server and take a look. Click Refresh. And here we have it. The domain controller is checking in okay. That's how fast and easy it is to install the ENow client. No reboot necessary. Not now, not ever. Okay, now for the advanced configuration I told you about. Advanced configuration. Now, if during the installation one of your servers can ping the web server but can't find it by name, there are two things you can do. One, check DNS resolution. It might be as simple as creating an appropriate DNS entry. And the other is just go ahead and proceed with the install. After it finishes, on that server, navigate to the folder where your ENow software is installed and find the ENow Mailscape Agent config file. And you're going to open the Mailscape Agent config file and change the line below from the server name of the web server to the IP of the web server. After that, just restart the ENow services. So it's that simple. There you go. How to install the ENow 7.0 client software on an Exchange server, domain controller, or other server being monitored. Thank you, and once again, it's ENow, Admin Life Simplified.